out.
Well,
Okay.
because I feel frozen now. Am I frozen?
You were for a second. Now you're
Okay.
okay. You're okay. You
Okay.
guys, look, she's beige. Everybody mock is beige. Look at her.
So much beige-eroni.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is hot as balls in my house. It's going to be 111 here in Texas today.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, right.
What?
100. Like when I see that, I'm like, what? That's not even, it's just not normal. It's like the surface of the sun here. And of course, we have to turn our air conditioning off again today. So everybody pray for me. Okay, everybody also, if you get a chance, go to our website, scroll down, and you can see like subscribe, where it says subscribe, and then our heads are like this. And it's like that's where you can subscribe to our newsletter. And you should be doing that. If you're not already doing that, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You should be doing that. Subscribe to our newsletter, and you can get happy news from us every single day. It may not be like actual happy news,
Right.
but it's news.
Not in this world.
Nonetheless, it is news from the chicks. You should be subscribed to that newsletter. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday indeed. I did a speed test on the connection here from this hotel, and my download rate and upload rate were in the 6 range. So if this connection is not perfect, that is why. So sorry for that. And hopefully the videos will work and all of that. But we do have things to talk about other than showing videos. And so let's just, first of all, if you are in the New York City or Boston area, I hope you're bracing yourselves for a potential hurricane. Hurricane Lee is coming at ya, and it's looking like it's going to be a Cat 5. So that's not good. So hopefully everybody is taking appropriate precautions if you are in an impacted area. So that is happening. Also, did you see that Megyn Kelly is interviewing Trump, and that is going to be released, I think, next Thursday. So what's interesting about her doing an interview with Trump, she like did a little teaser clip about it and said it's going to be spicy. And so she clearly, at least from the teaser clip, she had not yet talked to him. So she was like saying how she hoped that she and he would both enjoy it. So I don't know when they're actually recording it, but what's interesting is that we are having her on our show next week.
Right. And
so when we record with her, I don't know if she will have already talked to him or if she's going to be gearing up to talk to him. But by the time you guys hear our interview with her, it will be after she has aired the interview with him. And so I don't know, like, if what we're going to be able to ask about it. And by the time you guys hear our talk with her, it will have already happened. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be an interesting week next week.
And I'm not sure when we're releasing that, because I think that we're recording with her on Tuesday.
It's going to be Saturday, as usual.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can convince Valen to bust that out early. Because, you know, it'd be great if we could, I don't know, we'll have to talk to her about that. Because, man, people are going to be really curious to hear what she has, especially if we can get information about if she talked to Trump. We got to see if we can get that out early, because that would be really awesome if we can do that. People will be interested to hear what she has to say, because it's Megyn freaking Kelly.
Exactly. Yeah. So I cannot wait to watch that, because she's a tough cookie.
Yes, she is.
She's not just going to let him slide or talk over her or do the things, you know, that he might want to
do. There won't be a bunch of softball questions.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's going to be interesting. Quick follow-up about yesterday's discussion about my whole hullabaloo in the hospital with my son. It's because I mentioned a person on Instagram who had compared. She'd asked, like, you know, is Thomas going to be coming with us when we move to South Carolina, and how we shouldn't leave him because when she tried to leave her dog in Utah or whatever, that didn't go well. And so it was just this, I was in a rage because I was like, I cannot believe you're comparing him to a dog. First of all, that's crazy. And second of all, please stay out of my business. But it turns out she had not actually looked at all the pictures in my post. So she didn't know when I referred to T-Bone that was my son. She thought that was a dog name because she was only seeing that first picture of my girls. And so I felt terrible for being upset. She felt terrible. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't look through the entire post. Anyway, it's all fine now. Gracie, if you're watching, we are good. I told her that on Instagram too, but I don't know. She hasn't responded. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that that is fine. But I also did notice a lot of comments during the show yesterday from people who, you guys are all very well-meaning. And I, obviously appreciate all the prayers and the well wishes. That is, I like rub that right in. However, I do notice, and this happens with your migraines too.
All the time.
People I just feel like maybe there's a lesson that can be learned about peopling. And that is because here's a couple of examples of comments I saw yesterday. You need to change your son's diet since he has kidney stones. Somebody said, I have had kidney surgery and it's a breeze. Somebody said, you should have asked for an airflow bed at the hospital. So these are things that I would just advise folks never to say to anybody ever, because you should assume that as the mom of a 26-year-old who has been disabled since birth, I know all the things. I've tried all the things. We have explored all the things. I know my kid. And so he's gone through kidney surgeries. He's tried different formulas. He is formula fed. We cannot change his diet. Please stop.
Yeah.
When you know that Daisy has suffered from migraines like for her entire adult life.
You may not want to suggest like Excedrin plus to somebody who has had debilitating autoimmune disorders and migraines for 30 plus years. Yeah. I probably have tried that maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people mean well.
Exactly.
It's just,
so like prayers are awesome and support is awesome. But like when people have gone through situations like advice, they're kind of like, really?
Yeah. It's sometimes it's just inappropriate. Right. I know people mean well, but it's
totally.
It's just, please know that is not what anyone wants to hear when they're going through a thing. It's just not helpful. So anyway, life lesson for everybody about that. I have like the most exciting news personally, and that is, if for those of you who've been around a long time, you know my love for Robbie Williams, not Robin, Robbie Williams. He's
Robin Williams is pretty awesome.
Also awesome, not digging at him at all.
Completely awesome. I like Robin Williams. She likes Robbie Williams.
Okay, I like both, to be fair. But Robbie Williams is like, I've loved him for years and years and years. Yes.
Kind of obsessed.
There is going to be a Netflix documentary about him.
Oh
a 4-part Netflix documentary.
Why are they doing this to me? Why? Why does Netflix hate me? Why?
The excitement I have about this cannot be overstated, you guys. I cannot.
I don't understand.
So excited.
Why? Why are they doing this? Why?
Well,
why do they keep trying to make him happen in the States? They keep trying to make.
But Netflix is everywhere. I think it's because Netflix is, it's universal, worldwide. Yeah, international. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. And so, some people care.
Some people is mock.
It's me. Hi.
He's the problem. I know. Leanne's like, who's Robbie Williams? Yeah,
exactly.
Welcome to the party, Leanne. I know.
Well, maybe you guys should. Yes, Luke, my rock DJ. That's exactly right. Luke.
When we became best friends, like 15 years ago, when we became best friends, she was like, "You have to become obsessed with Robbie Williams." And I'm like, do you know who I am? We're not. It's not going to happen. You're not going to make it
happen.
She tried so hard, and I was like, I don't think.
And I tried.
Gosh, she tried. She tried so hard. You guys.
I try it with everybody, man. I try. Anyway, so that is super exciting for me. Yes. I wanted to share with everybody what President Biden's official account yesterday. I could not believe this. I thought this can't be real. He cannot be doing this right now.
Brace yourselves, everybody.
This comes from the official POTUS account, and it reads, and I quote, "My administration is canceling all remaining oil and gas leases issued under the last administration in the Arctic refuge and proposing to protect 13 million acres in the Western Arctic. There's more to do, but we're taking action to meet the moment for future generations. This, in light of the fact that gas prices are already astronomically out of control, he is now going to make the problem a bajillion times worse. That's our president.
We're all California now, everybody. Woo! Yay!
Can you even? I mean, can you even?
Yes, this is what he wants. He wants all of us, or the person who's pulling the strings.
Yeah,
that person wants us all to be California, you guys. That's what's gonna happen. So get ready for gas prices to go up.
Exactly what she just said.
Because life doesn't suck hard enough right now when it comes to prices of everything. That's what we need.
Speaking of being in the hospital, when I packed a bag to go to the hospital, I loaded up on the Healthy Cell Super Immune Boost. This stuff is like, this is magic in a packet right here. And in fact, I brought a bunch of extra with me to give to my son's caregiver who was helping me with discharge and all of that, getting him out of the hospital. And I was like, you need to take 1 million of these because this will get your immune system boosted. It's kind of, that's why it's so aptly named. By the way, I just want to tell you about the ingredients in this. It's 15 pills worth of vitamins and goodness for your immune system. You would have to spend like $85 in order to get everything that you get in this one packet. So it includes, among other things, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, zinc, vitamin B, echinacea, elderberry, all kinds of really awesome things to support your immune system. So when you know you're going to be exposed to like a lot of people, and a hospital is the worst place ever.
And she was texting me going, oh my God, I feel so gross in here.
I mean, I do. Really, like, I immediately am like, is that a tickle in my throat? What's going on?
She was freaking out, you guys. Yeah.
But this is what you need to make sure that you are boosting your immune system. This is just one example of the amazing products from healthycell.com/chicks. If you would like to try it, and this one tastes like blackberry, by the way.
That's the one I take. That's the one I take it I love that one. And if you have autoimmune stuff, seriously, that's the slam dunk. It's the one I take. I love it.
Yes. You can also do 7-day trial packs if you just want to try it and see if you like it. You can do that. They're less than $20 right now. You're going to get 20% off your first order no matter what when you go to healthycell.com/chicks. You should try that immediately. Can I just share with everybody this book? If you have not yet gotten the Chadwick Moore's biography of Tucker. This is an authorized biography. That means Chadwick Moore spent like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours with Tucker Carlson and his entire family. Did like extensive interviews with him, with his wife, with his father, all kinds of people. It is a phenomenal book. If you are a fan of Tucker.
I can't wait to read it. I want to read it so bad.
Oh my God. So I wanted to just like give a little preview highlight of just some of the amazing, I mean, I could go on and on forever, but I won't because you guys need to all read this. But one of the things I thought was so interesting, especially in light of what you and I do, and especially in light of some of the backlash I in particular, but you have too, have gotten when we're critical of Trump. This passage was so important for me, like for Tucker to say. I just loved it. So he said, this is a quote from the book. This is page 143. He says, "I'm always amazed by how many people assume that talk show hosts are merely pretending to be outraged or interested in the things that they talk about. I set them straight right away. Actually, I say, I believe every bit of it, sometimes more than I say on the air. They hate hearing this, but it's true. I believe everything I say. You have to. Arguing a position you don't really support is a surefire way to wind up loathing yourself." And I thought, God bless him for saying that, because so many people just think I should just not say what I think about things. I should say the things you guys want to hear. And I'm not ever going to do that. You're not ever going to do that.
I've actually had an old friend of mine say to me one time, I was perplexed by this. She was like, well, you don't actually believe everything that you say on the air, right? I mean, this was like a long time when we did radio. She was like, because people don't believe everything that they say. Like the Rachel Maddows and like you guys don't actually believe everything you say, right? I mean, it's kind of like playing a part. And I was I'll never forget that. I'll never forget. I mean, because this was a good friend of mine. And I thought, what in the world? Like, she thinks I'm actually like full of crap. Like, I can't, of course I believe
Oh my
everything that
God.
I say. How could we? It's kind of like, just who we are. It's like
Right.
who we are as people. I couldn't do this job unless I believed everything I believe, and I wanted to fight for our country and do everything. And we do it because we are so adamant about everything that's happening in our country. And if we didn't believe everything we believe, there's no way I'd go get a job with a salary. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It would be a hell of a lot easier, believe me, because it's hard to do what we do every day to get. I mean, it really is. Listen, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just saying that it's like it's hard to get up every day and to do what we do, and because you do take hits. I mean, especially with like when we were in radio, it was, man, it's like, of course we believe what we believe.
Well, it's like
Absolutely.
people are always like, you're being paid. You're like a DeSantis
Oh, for
operative or a
crying
Karl
out loud.
Rove operative. It's all that nonsense. I'm just like, no, I'm just actually just telling you what I think about things. Like, for
Exactly.
real.
Yes. And of course you have to believe what I mean, you have to get out there and you have to believe wholeheartedly in what you are saying, or you could not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I think, because she's like, she even said to me, she goes, because, Rachel Maddow, she's kind of playing a role. And I'm like, no, I think Rachel Maddow actually believes the things that she says on the air. She believes the lunacy that's in her brain, which is why I don't have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also, because I've been actually confused. What does Tucker think about Trump? Like, what does he genuinely think? Because there's the rumors about the text messages that he sent me things. But then he's with him all the time, and he's been very positive.
They golf, yeah.
And so here's a little bit about his thoughts on Trump. He said, "Do I like Trump? I love Trump. But there are many levels to Trump. He was a completely ineffectual president. He could not manage my household. He's not a manager, and that's very frustrating to watch. The federal government is the largest organization in history. There's never been a larger organization, millions of people, the largest budget, largest workforce, incredibly complex. I don't know how any person can control it." So that was very frustrating to watch, extremely frustrating, infuriating to watch his stated agenda get subverted by people who work for him. It was crazy, like watching someone's kids burn his own house down and he can't do anything about it. I really hated watching that, and I was mad about it. So, and he goes on for pages and pages, like how he doesn't think Trump is political, that he doesn't understand politics. I mean, there's a lot of meat to Tucker's view of Trump that makes it so interesting. Whole thing.
So he loves him. He loves his policies. He didn't like the way that he chose the people who worked underneath him,
right,
to help him. Because I mean, you have to do that, right? Especially even in business, you have to do that. And the thing I think that sucks about that is that from a private sector perspective, he did such a good job of doing that, obviously, because he was wildly successful. He was in his personal, like in a private sector space, he's wildly successful. When you get in the government, everything turns to crap.
Right.
Because it's political, right? I mean, like in a government space, it's all different. It's like they kind of choose things for you, and they're like, you can't have a personal policy making. Like, you can't do that here. You can't do it because we choose for you, and it's not supposed to be that way in America. It's just
the layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy. Oh my God!
And he tried so desperately to crack that and to destroy that and go in there and then change it and drain the swamp. And man, they fought him. God, they fought him.
And they still do. They still fight him.
They're trying to destroy him. Yeah.
Now, you guys know, I mean, when Tucker was on the air on TV, he constantly battled that Media Matters organization, and they set their sights on him all the time. And so, whenever he would snark about Media Matters, it was like one of my most favorite things. Yeah. So Chadwick Moore, in the acknowledgement section at the very end of the book, he thanks, like, obviously all the people that were responsible for helping him with the book.
Yeah.
But then there's a paragraph that is my favorite. So this is what he says. "I would also like to thank everyone at Media Matters for America and their affiliated sectarian drones in mainstream media who, despite dedicating countless hours and entire assassination squads in the service of taking out Tucker Carlson, ran and hid under the covers whenever asked for an interview.
Oh
Your insincerity and cowardice remain on full display for anyone paying the least amount of attention. Thank you for being so hideous and stupid.
I love it.
That's my favorite thing.
Fantastic. Oh my God. I love that so much.
Isn't that the greatest? Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
I know. I just loved every
beautiful. Love that.
Please go and get it. If you haven't gotten it, get it. It's Chadwick Moore. It's called Tucker. It is such a good book in every way. It's so many interesting things about his background.
Did we talk about him? I don't know if we did or not, because it's been a really crazy week, but did we talk about, there's a clip, and I think I may have, no, I didn't put it on our Instagram, but I liked it and I commented on it on Instagram. It's about him, and he's talking to some sort of an organization about how when he moved his family to a small town. At first he hated it because people would talk to him. And he was like, I got things to do. I got texts to answer. I got emails to answer. I'm way too busy for this. And I gotta schedule, man. I gotta stick to a schedule. He said, but then after about a year, he settled into that. And he really started seeing that is what is important. What's important is relationships with people. And so he started understanding that like he had been away from that for so long because he had been in the hustle and bustle of like the media business and all that kind of stuff. And then when he moved to the small town, it's like people were asking him, hey, how's your dog?
Yeah.
And like, that was the actual example. I'm not even paraphrasing. That was the example that he used. He's like, how's your dog? How's your family? Stuff like that. And then he was like, this is what life is all about. People are saying, yes, I saw that. This is what life is all about. Life is about interpersonal relationships, interpersonal connections with people. And he has settled into that place in his life where that's where he is now. And it's like, he gets it. You know what I mean? He gets it.
Yeah.
He totally gets it. And I love that now. I love that about him, is that he understands that. And that's a beautiful place to be, It is.
There's everything about the book made me love him more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You come away from it just feeling like, man, he has had such an interesting life with his mother utterly abandoning him. And like, because I always thought, oh, he just grew up in California in this like hoity-toity country club way. And that's partly true. But there's also a lot of family drama, and he had a huge bout with alcoholism for a long time. I mean, he's a fascinating person, and Moore does a phenomenal job of presenting Tucker as a whole human. It's just so good. I mean, I just cannot recommend it enough. So I hope everybody checks that out. Also, one of the other things I brought with me is this. Now, if you are a Facebook insider or a local supporter, then you got a special treat. What was it? 2 weeks ago when we were together in Nashville, we did a video that gave people 24 hours to get their hands on a free this size sample of the Microbiome Shield, the moisturizer, which is amazing. And that's one of the benefits. That's one of the perks of being a Facebook insider or local supporter, is that you get some of these more interesting and just specially for you opportunities. But everyone has an opportunity to go to genucel.com/chicks and check out the amazing Summer Essentials Most Popular package. It includes so many of their best products. And the Microbiome Shield is a personal favorite, because how did I refer to it in the video? I said it actually feels very shieldy, right?
Yes. It's like a probiotic. It's a probiotic it's for your face. It's like a probiotic for your gut. This is for your face. I know it sounds weird, but it actually works, and it's fantastic.
It is absolutely amazing. You can have such huge savings right now when you go to genucel.com/chicks. Use code chicks. You can save up to 70% off of their most popular package. Check them out immediately and get yourself some of that amazing moisturizer. Okay, so let's do one more really quick celebrity note. That Rihanna's name, the baby's name, her new baby's name just came. It was just released. Riot.
Oh my God. No, she did not name her kid Riot.
Now she balanced it out with the middle name Rose, but yes, it's Riot Rose.
Oh my God. These celebrities, they just hate their kids. They hate them. They hate their children.
I just don't. What is wrong with them? You know what I mean?
I don't. Riot. Yeah, Riot.
Riot Rose.
Riot Rose. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Some thank yous. Chasing Grace says, FYI, unsolicited advice is often received as criticism. Unless I have authority in my close inner circle in a person's life, I try not to offer advice. That is great advice, actually.
It is. That is good advice.
Mad Cow Mark says, mad person kills 1 pedestrian and injures 7 in the city's Saint of Melbourne. Before hitting a car and police dragging him from car and arresting him. Yikes. That sounds horrible. I haven't heard about that story. Shelly says, I appreciate that you all speak your mind and show all the sides. I may not always agree, but I'm thankful for the honesty. Opposing views is how we actually learn and cement our own viewpoints. That's exactly right. Thank you, Shelly.
Yep.
Yeah. And Sue, thank you. Sue says, been a follower since 2016. Don't get to watch you live often, but I do put you in my pocket to watch after work. Love you both. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Okay. So I thought today was going to be like a shorter show, and we are on track for it to not be a shorter
always
show.
Wrong about that. She says this like every single day. I think it's going to be short, Daisy. It's going to be short. And I'm always like, yeah, right.
But we got some serious videoing to get to. And we're going to kick it off with one of the most idiotic senators, Chris Van Hollen. He's being asked by a reporter at CNN about Joe Biden's age, the concern with that, voters feeling very concerned about it. And here is how Chris Van Hollen responds.
Including Democrats say they are concerned about President Biden's age. In fact, 49% say it is their biggest concern about Biden as a presidential candidate. Why do you think they feel that way?
Well, John, look, I haven't seen the details of this poll, but I think that at the end of the day, Americans are going to look at performance in office. And President Biden has had one of the most productive 3-4 years in office than any presidents in recent history, including an amazing set of legislative accomplishments.
God, these people are so high. And they got together in a room. They're like, this is what we're going to say. We're going to say that he's performed really well. No, he hasn't. He's been on vacation half of his presidency. And on top of that, we just found out that he's going to raise gas prices, like on top of everything else. How is that production? Like, how is that being productive? Oh my God.
I mean, if you want to say that he's been productive at destruction,
there you go.
I guess that's fair.
Exactly. It's just, these people are just, they get together and it's like they get in a room and they say, what are we going to say what's the bullshit catchphrase that we can say to everybody where maybe they'll buy it? We're not buying it. We're just not buying what they're selling.
Not buying it at all.
Because we're living it. We're living reality.
Yeah. I mean, everybody feels the prices of everything being astronomically high.
And living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck, whereas there's a small, like a small percentage of the country, which is basically the senators and the congressmen and the president, that don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, and we're paying their salaries. Congratulations.
Well, and I don't know who this interviewer is of Kamala, but she's gonna again bring up the age thing, and she does it twice, which is really bizarre the way that she does this. But in this first clip that you're gonna see, she brings up Biden's age and Kamala's age even as an introduction to how many Republicans are criticizing and going after Kamala specifically. And and whoever this chick is wants Kamala to react to the criticism. And here's what happens.
So you're 58 now. If you win a second term, as you and the president are running to do, he would be 86 at the end of it. And we are seeing Republican candidates hone in on you in particular as being next up for that job. Nikki Haley says a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for President Harris. Chris Christie, I want to be clear that I pray every night for Joe Biden's good health, not only because he's our president, but because of who our vice president is. Ron DeSantis, Harris is Biden's impeachment insurance. People know if she were president, batter the doors. As bad as Biden did, it would get worse. How do you respond to all of that?
We are delivering for the American people.
Oh my God. God. That was a brutal question, though. It's like basically everybody says that you suck.
Right. How do you respond?
How do
And
you
she's
respond?
like,
Go.
we're delivering for the American people. Shut up, Kamala.
God, that was a really, I mean, that question was just loaded. It's like, here's all the criticism of everybody against you. And she has nothing to say to that. She has
No.
nothing. It's like, we're delivering. No, what are you doing? What are you specifically doing? I mean, she ever been to did she ever go to the border?
No.
Did she ever go to the border, you guys?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Now she's the AI czar. And so I'm sure she's working really hard on that.
Anytime somebody calls you a czar, you're not working hard.
No,
there's no work. There's no work there. Mm-mm.
So, like I said, the age thing, and specifically Kamala being 58 and Joe Biden, being 86 at the end of the second term. Yeah. She says it again. Like this reporter is obsessed, but this is the lead up to an entirely different question about whether Kamala is ready to take his place. Here it is.
You're 58 now. If you win the second term, as you and the president are running to do, he would be 86 at the end of it.
Again.
The Wall Street Journal had a poll showing 2/3 of Democrats say Joe Biden is too old to run again. Are you prepared to be commander-in-chief?
Yes, I am, if necessary. But Joe Biden is going to be fine. And let me tell you something. I work with Joe Biden every day. The work that under Joe Biden's leadership our administration has accomplished is transformative. I think the American people most of all want a leader who actually gets things done.
She asked the same question, but she's so fixated on the age thing, which I mean is great because we're all fixated on the age thing. But man, she just kept asking that over and over. I wonder if she asked it a third time.
Yeah, I didn't listen to anymore because I just thought I've reached the up with which I can no longer put.
the third time she was like, did you know that he's going to be 86? I don't know if I've pointed this out, but he's going to be 86.
50.
And you're 58. Did you know that you're 58? Listen, I mean, it's because it is an issue. Think about that, 86 years old. He's going to be 86, you guys. What are we doing? Like,
I don't know.
And then that guy previously that we watched in the video before, he's like, I mean, it's fine because he's been really productive. He's been super productive. No, he's going to be 86. Like, that's outrageous. There's nobody should be running for president that's going to be 86 years old. Nobody. I don't care who it is. I don't care how cognitively able you think that they are. He's going to be 86. That's outrageous.
It's not okay. It's not okay that
none of it
is okay. Okay, so I've got a longish clip to share with everybody because there was no way to cut it. This piggybacks very nicely on a conversation that we were having yesterday about Vivek and the changes in attitude towards him that your daughter-in-law has been having and that some other young folks have been having. Vivek is starting to get a lot of criticism. And he was interviewed by Mehdi Hasan. That's why my name today is Maki Hassan, because Mehdi Hasan, I can't remember if he's an MSNBC guy or CNN guy, it doesn't matter.
They're basically
the same. Yeah, exactly. He interviewed Vivek for quite a while. And there was a question because Vivek accepted a scholarship from George Soros way back in college or after college. And the scholarship was a lot of money. I think it was $150,000. It was some crazy amount of money. And at the time, Vivek was doing quite well financially. And so Mehdi Hasan's question to Vivek is about, I guess crap.
What?
All my videos just went away. I don't know why this happens on this computer, but I'm going to have to reload it.
Okay. All right. Well,
which is not too big of a deal. But anyway, I can tell you that the whole thing, Mehdi is trying to make this point that since Vivek was making money, it was unethical or immoral somehow for him to accept free money.
Okay, and I don't know if I agree with that. Just before we watch the video, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because if it were me and somebody was giving me free money, I don't know if I'd necessarily turn it away.
Why would anybody? Why?
Right. I don't know if I would do that. I just don't know if I would, you guys. So I don't know yeah, I'm not sure if I'm one to say, oh my God, that's just unethical for you to, especially if I don't care who it is. If somebody's saying, I'll give you $150,000, here you go.
And you're worthy of it for whatever reason,
right.
or like whatever the requirements of that were.
If I'm not indebted to that person in any way,
yeah.
why would I not take $150,000? If I can just be like, okay, I don't have to deal with you ever for the rest of my life. You're going to give me $150,000. Why wouldn't I take it?
That's the thing, is I totally agree with you. And that should have been a pretty easy thing for Vivek to say. And he does kind of say that at one point, but he is not effective in fighting back against Mehdi Hasan's point here. And it was really weird for me to see Vivek struggle this way, because normally he's like the best debater ever. And so it's a bit of a longer clip, but I couldn't cut it. I think you need to see the whole thing in the whole context, and then we can discuss. Here it is.
You say you are anti-identity politics, anti-affirmative action in a party that hates the Soros name, yet you accepted a Paul and Daisy Soros scholarship at law school that was specifically set up for the children of immigrants. It was an affirmative action scholarship, and your defense for that is that you didn't have the money to pay for law school, even though you'd already made over $1 million at the time and made another $2 million.
My defense of that is somebody gives you a merit scholarship at the age of 24, you take it. At the age of 24, somebody gives you a merit scholarship, you take it. I didn't say I didn't have the money. I said at a time when I had a lot less money than now. $50,000
you said
was still
exactly, I didn't have the money
to me.
You keep forgetting your quote. You said, when I didn't have the money.
So Mehdi, I've made this really easy for everybody. And I did this in the early weeks of the campaign.
Yeah.
I released 20 years of tax returns.
Yes, you did.
Something that no presidential candidate, let alone somebody who's successful in business, has done. I challenged Democrats and Republicans alike, including the Biden family, to do it.
And you
know what? I released it so that you could look at them, so we can have an honest conversation.
And I appreciate that.
The funny thing I've learned,
I do appreciate that. It's something Trump should learn from you.
I think that transparency is important.
So
it's already open and everybody can see it.
Exactly. We have 2009.
But the fact of the matter is, you know what I would advise every 24-year-old should take $50,000.
And 2010, you made $750,000. You had the money to pay for law school. You didn't need a Soros affirmative action scholarship that you now criticize.
I mean, none of this is worthy, but if you think it is, let's get to the detail. That was actually the first big piece of money.
You say you're anti-affirmative action. You took a scholarship for immigrants.
I'm anti-affirmative action.
So why'd you take a scholarship for the children of immigrants?
Which falsehood would you like me to address? The financial one or the one about my views on affirmative action? Because I can go in whichever order you'd like.
On the
financial piece of it. Not at the time that I had applied for the scholarship that fall.
Yes, you did.
That December.
Yes, you did, Vivek. This is awkward for you because you did. I've got the tax returns in front of my face.
No, it's not awkward for you. Yes, on December 31st, when the application for the scholarship was that October. Mehdi, you're wasting your time on childish details in October of that year when I applied for that scholarship. And it was, well, guess what? The bonuses that a hedge fund pays, and it's a shame that, again, you don't have to be an expert on this, but if you're going to spout out, you better know something about it. People pay at a hedge fund the bonuses at the end of a year, and on December 31st, that's when I was paid. I applied for the scholarship that September, and I did not grow up in a wealthy family.
Vivek, you made more money the previous year.
I made $200,000 pre-tax or whatever it was.
No, you didn't.
And you know what?
Hold on. No, you didn't. You're now telling flat. In 2009,
you have my tax returns in front of you. I don't remember what I made in 2009.
In 2009, you made $650,000. In 2010, you made less, $450,000. So the argument that you only made the money pre the scholarship, oh, so now we're bringing tax into it. We've been using gross numbers.
Absolutely.
Vivek, you're wrong on this. Go back and check your tax returns.
$50,000 obviously makes a big difference.
And then you accepted a Soros scholarship for $50,000 when you didn't need it.
Well, you know what the fact is, Mehdi, is $50,000 did make a big difference to me back then. And anybody who has a few $100,000 in the bank is going to take $50,000 without strings attached. Take the scholarship. But my question for you is, why on earth are you, as an intelligent person interested in politics, obsessing over a 24-year-old's $50,000 scholarship?
I'm interested in truth,
beneath you.
We have a country to fix. That you wear. I'm interested in truth.
And Mehdi, that's why I released 20 years. Mehdi, that is why I released 20 years of tax records. Tell your friends in the Biden administration to do the same thing.
Okay, so but here's the thing though, like somebody said, you don't take it because of integrity. Okay, but how is this? That whole thing gave me a freaking migraine because that guy would not shut.
You should try Excedrin.
I know. I totally will. I absolutely will after the show. Listen, he wouldn't let him talk. And so it was hard for me to understand like what was going on there. I mean, he's a terrible interviewer. I can't, God, just shut up for 2 seconds and let him answer a question. Just calm down and everybody just talk, you know? I hate it when people conduct interviews that way, first of all. Second of all, like if he, in fact, took money, whether he was making money or not, okay, if he took a scholarship, which I guess with the scholarship, you don't have to pay it back. That's my assumption, right? It's not it's not like you're taking a loan. I mean, if you take a scholarship, you get a scholar. I mean, people get scholarships every day. And sometimes there are people I know, or I've seen people get scholarships and their parents make gobs and gobs of money. So what is the difference? I don't,
and it's an integrity thing. If anything, you are draining some money from George Soros.
Right.
More power to you.
Exactly. What the hell? It's like, so what? So George Soros is $50,000 less rich.
Yeah. I don't understand that point.
How does that, what does that have to do with integrity? I mean, it's like, exactly. He took money. He took money and he used it for his education. And and there's no, and like he said, there's no strings attached. And this guy's pissed off because Vivek makes money and he happened to get a scholarship. Listen, there are a lot of scholarships out there that the money just sits and kids don't even know that it's there. I encourage my daughter. I'm like, go find them. When you get to the point where you get to where you're looking for colleges to go find those scholarships. For the love of God, go find the scholarships and see if you can get those scholarships and those grants and find them, because there's a lot of money out there that needs to be taken from people. And I don't care where you get them.
And scholarships are typically not income based.
Right.
You know what I mean? If there's like a merit scholarship, athletic scholarships, it doesn't matter what your income level is.
Yeah.
You are awarded scholarship based on merit, talent, whatever. And maybe that, if they wanted to fight about the affirmative action angle,
that would be one thing.
That's a thing. And that's the part where I was like, okay, Vivek, how are you going to respond to that piece? Are you going to say, well, back then, I mean, I was a young college student. I had different thoughts about affirmative action then than I do now. Fine. But like, say it. And granted, he wasn't given much of an opportunity to actually get a full sentence out.
He wasn't given an opportunity to say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, so that whole conversation was, God, it was enough to make your blood pressure go through the roof.
Well, unfortunately, I have another, because apparently, and this was another, I feel like Vivek did not handle this well. Back after January 6th, a few days after January 6th happened, Vivek had tweeted that Trump's behavior on January 6th was abhorrent, or like he used a very, very strong word to describe how wrong he thought Trump behaved on January 6th. Mehdi wants him to answer the question, the very specific question, what behavior was so egregious? What did Trump do specifically that you made that comment about that was abhorrent? And Vivek cannot answer this question, you guys, and it does not look good. Check this out. It's coming, I promise.
The peacock.
Here it comes, I swear.
You say he behaved in downright abhorrent behavior that makes him a danger to democracy. What was it that was downright? Tell me what he did that was downright abhorrent.
Let's actually be really fair to your audience. So on January 10th, 2021, thereabouts, days after that incident, I wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal arguing that censorship was the real cause of what happened on January 6th. When asked in response, somebody asked me the question, are you... That's what I wrote. I'm giving you the facts of what I said. That's a hard fact. That was published in the Wall Street Journal. When pressed on, was that condoning what Trump did? My answer was no. There's a difference between a bad judgment and a crime.
And
we
you're
need
avoiding
to
my
be
question.
able to tell the difference in this country.
What did Donald Trump do,
no, I'm not avoiding
in your view, that was downright abhorrent? Second time
I think that the thing that I would have done differently if I were in his shoes
not what I asked,
is
Vivek,
I would have
respect.
declared re-election on January 7th.
I'll ask it a third time.
That's exactly the thing I would have done.
What did Trump do that was egregious, quote, downright abhorrent, and a danger to democracy? Can you just explain to our viewers? Your words.
So you're mixing two different quotes. But what did I think was reprehensible about what happened that day? Look, I think that The way a true leader should have handled that situation should have been to actually say, this is me running for re-election, not actually litigating what is already passed and behind us. And I would have done things differently. That is not a crime, though, what he did.
Understand.
And the reason I have been so vehement.
You keep saying what you would have done. I just want to hear from your mouth. No,
I would not,
unless you're scared of him, why won't you say what he did that was downright abhorrent?
I'm not going to let you you're stitching together three things from three different places to create a caricature. Do you want to have an actual conversation?
Yes, I want you to answer my question, Vivek. Three times I've asked it. What did Trump do that was downright abhorrent? It's a simple question. It's your words. It's on screen. What did he do that was downright abhorrent?
I believe that failing to unite this country falls short of what a true leader ought to do. That is why I'm in this race, is to do things differently than any prior president has done them. That's the hard truth, okay?
And that's what made him a sore loser and abhorrent.
The media,
yes, your words.
And well, the reality is none of that is a crime. And the reason I have been so vocal, the reason I have been so vocal is because when somebody actually prosecutes somebody for a bad judgment, and I've been clear.
I understand your objections to the litigation.
I would have made different judgments.
That's not what I asked about. I
understand. That is a distinction we have to draw.
Understood.
I mean, yikes.
People are like, my heart rate is too high right now. Yeah, I know. Enough. Don't show me enough.
But do you see? He never could answer that question.
I mean, ever. I think that his campaign is unraveling a little bit just because of stuff like that. He did so well in the debate. He really did well in the debate. But even like, like my older kids are just like, it was a little too good to be true. Like it was just kind of
like a little to this,
a little to that. Yeah. A little to that. And I did. And that's what like, they were like, one of my daughter-in-law, she was like, I really like that Doug Burgum guy,
I don't even remember anything he said. Not a thing.
She was like, I really liked him. He was kind of calm, he seemed kind of calm. He seemed like a dad. Like I need somebody that's like a dad, which is so interesting to me when you hear a millennial say, I need a dad figure running the country. I need somebody who's going to be like, come on kids, let's, And so, if it's not Trump, it's got to be a dad. It's got to be somebody who's at the dad age, not the grandpa age, but like the dad age, who's going to be like, let's just, everybody get in the car. We're going for ice cream. Oh my God. Because it's, this is the thing. I think they just need somebody that's going to be able to do this. They like the ideas of Vivek. They like how vivacious he is. They like his enthusiasm. They like all that. But then when he gets into an interview situation, like what we just saw,
I mean, normally he's great at these kinds of interviews.
He's great.
This was not a good performance from him.
And you have to know that you're going to start getting called out on this stuff. You know, you have to be prepared for these things. So,
and those words were his. I mean, he was being asked, just say what he did wrong. Yeah. You called the behavior abhorrent. What behavior specifically are you referring to?
And you're going on MSNBC, man. They're gonna get you. They're gonna try to get you.
Yeah.
And that guy is gonna make sure that he attacks you.
Exactly.
So what they do.
That was really something. You guys, I learned something the other day about fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks, and that is fast-growing trees, or any tree, or any plant for that matter, fall is the time to plant a whole bunch of things. I don't have green thumbs, so I don't know anything about anything when it comes to plants, but I did learn that fall is the right time to plant certain somethings, depending on what those somethings are. And if you are looking for a certain something for either your backyard, your front yard, or inside, fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks has everything that you could ever want when it comes to plants, trees, flowers, fruit trees, shrubs, all of it. They've got everything that you can imagine. And the best part is that they have so much support on their website, and that you can contact whenever you have questions about planting anything that you get from Fast Growing Trees. And what's amazing too, there's a reason why they've got like millions of happy customers. They have the largest selection online in the world of things that you can plant to beautify your home or garden or yard. And they tell you, based on where you live in the country, what the best things are to plant in your climate, in your area. They make it also easy. And then when they send you whatever it is that you order from them. Everything comes super well packaged and ready to plant with super clear instructions. That is why someone as dumb as I am when it comes to all kinds of greenery, that's why I have a thriving lilac tree in my front yard right now.
And I have a rose bush.
Can you believe it, you guys?
I know, it's so weird. I have a rose bush. Like, who would have thought?
I mean, that's kind of impressive. If you know us at all, you realize how impressive this is.
Exactly.
So join the other happy millions of customers at fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. Save 15% off of your entire order when you go to fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. You're going to love their stuff. I know we do. So check them out today. Okay, let's do some COVID stuff because DeSantis and his Surgeon General in Florida had some things to say. We're going to kick this off with Jesse Waters, who interviewed DeSantis the other day, asking specifically, because you've heard DeSantis say things like, when I'm president, there's going to be a reckoning. And so Jesse Waters wanted to ask specifically, what does that mean when we're looking at COVID and the return of COVID, of course, and potentially masks and all the mandates and whatnot? What does a reckoning look like in a DeSantis administration? Here's the answer.
What would a DeSantis reckoning look like?
Well, first of all, you take something like an FDA. They're basically a subsidiary of Big Pharma. We're not going to allow people in the FDA to leave the FDA and cash out in pharma. It's like a revolving door. That's why you have them approving an mRNA vax for 6-month-old babies for COVID. There was no evidence to support that. They're doing it because of that relationship. We are going to clean house at places like the CDC. They didn't follow the science during COVID. They followed the narrative during COVID, and that was very, very destructive. So we will clean house with personnel. You're going to have people in with me, like my Surgeon General in Florida, Dr. Joseph Ladapo. You'll have people like Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford. These are people that were right about COVID from day one. They were pilloried by a very politicized scientific establishment, but they stood their ground, and they've been proving right. Those are the people that need to be in positions, not the political actors that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years.
Amen to that.
Why is he tanking so hard?
I don't know. It's like what he literally has done everything right from a conservative perspective. Like, he has not put a foot wrong, and yet people are just so mad at him for having the audacity to run against Trump.
Yeah, because it's like
he's ruined.
Yeah, it's just so funny because I mean, of course there are people, and it was like Miss Farm Girl, like you just hate him, don't you? Like, it's just,
oh my God, she gets so mad at me.
I know,
every
like
time.
more pro DeSantis and like anti-Trump, anti-Vivek. I mean, we're just putting the stuff out there. We're just putting the news out there. That's all we're doing. And it's just so interesting to me how people just despise this guy. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hatred.
But you ask what he did wrong, and they like grasp onto these ridiculous conspiracy theories that he's like Bush backed and like like he's addressed these things a million times, and it doesn't matter how good his results are. People are just dismissing him, and I'm like, this is idiotic. I don't understand it, but I'll never understand it.
Yeah, I don't.
But he would pick the right people around him. He always has picked the right people around him. And Ladapo, who he mentioned, the Surgeon General, also spoke out yesterday about this new vaccine, this new booster that they're coming out with, that they're recommending again for itty bitties, which is freaking bonkers. Here's Ladapo addressing that.
There's a new vaccine that's coming around the corner, a new mRNA COVID-19 vaccine, and there's essentially no evidence for it. There's been no clinical trial done in human beings showing that it benefits people. There's been no clinical trial showing that it is a safe product for people. And not only that, but then there are a lot of red flags. So something that you don't hear much about, but we'll be talking more about, is that there are multiple studies now from around the world, Brazil, I think Australia, United States, that show that over time, these vaccines, these mRNA COVID-19 products, actually increase your chances of contracting COVID-19. That's not normal. And
how can you not do clinical trials? I don't understand. Right? I cannot wrap my brain around this. I used to work in pharma. I worked in pharma for decades. I don't understand. That's the whole point. you go through, that's why people will bitch and moan about, oh my God, the pharmaceuticals are so expensive. One of the reasons they're so expensive is because you go through years and years and years of clinical trials for a drug. That's why it takes, I mean, honest to God, like I just can't wrap my brain around the fact that like he's talking about how there's no clinical trial for this. How is that even happening? I don't understand. Somebody needs to explain this to me, like that they're just pushing this stuff out and it's not been tested on humans. What is for years?
Well, and RFK Jr. talks about that, and we've got a clip of him talking about the lack of studies that are done for safety of some of these vaccines.
Yeah,
that is just unbelievable.
Safety and efficacy. You do separate. I'm just astounded. Like, what is even happening in our country right now?
I know.
What the hell?
It's bonkers. Here is a woman at that same forum that you just heard Latipo at. I just love her because she's just like a regular person saying what clicked for her during the first COVID response, and how she's explaining basically why she has come around to the conservative way of thinking because of what we all went through. And I just love how regular she is about it, how she just puts it. She's awesome. Watch.
It was during the masking where our school board defied the governor's orders. Joe Biden encouraged the school board to defy that order as well. Former Mayor Lenny Curry extended the mandates every 30 days. What about special needs kids? Who's standing up for these kids? Why aren't we taking those arrows? I started to use a lot of common sense. Why can Nancy Pelosi get her hair done, but my son can't play at the playground? That does not make sense to me. No. Why is the NFL and the NBA on TV insulting our intelligence, but our kids cannot have social interactions? No.
I love her.
Yeah, I love her too. She's got her Moms for Liberty shirt on.
Yeah.
They're going to call it, they're going to call her a white supremacist.
Exactly.
You know, that's coming. And she's going to be like, what? What? Okay.
So here's that clip that I mentioned too. RFK, I think this was on the Rogan show probably, where he's talking about, I didn't even know that he was part of the Trump administration at all in any way, or that he sued Dr. Fauci for documentation of previous safety studies on vaccines.
Where does that stand?
Well,
where's the update on that?
Well, it's in this. Like,
okay,
this is. I just was blown away.
But I mean, but my point is he in jail? Like, is he going to go to jail?
Right. I know.
Like, when does that guy go to jail? That's what I want. Like, when? I need somebody to tell me when that troll is going to jail. It's like, it's countless the things that this guy has done. Like, when I saw this yesterday, I was just like, what? Again, with the Fauci stuff. And yet he's still being paraded on all the networks, telling us what to do with our health. Enough.
Yeah, I know. This was fresh information to me. Perhaps it will be to you too. Take a listen.
I never knew anybody with a peanut allergy. Why do 5 of my 7 kids have allergies? Not one of these 72 vaccines has ever been tested, never been done. In 2016, Donald Trump asked me to serve on a vaccine safety commission, and I agreed to do it. He then ordered Fauci and Collins to meet with me, and during that meeting, there was a referee there from the White House. And I said to Fauci, I gave kind of a lecture showing what we knew. I had a PowerPoint. I said, Tony, can you show me one vaccine that has been subject to a safety test? They had brought in from NIH this big tray full of file folders. And he made a show of kind of looking through that at the time. He couldn't find whatever he was looking for. So then he said, he'll send it to you. Well, he never did. So Aaron and I sued him and said, show us one study that's ever been done on pre-licensing safety testing for vaccines. And after a year of stonewalling, they finally gave us a letter and said, we don't have any.
We don't have any.
We don't have any safety tests?
Can you
there were no safety trials? What is even happening? I can't believe this. I have zero regrets for not taking the damn thing. I'm not putting any of that in my kid.
Yeah. I mean,
over my dead body. If they bring that crap back and they start mandating it, the revolts. I mean, it's like, there's no way you're not shoving that crap and you're not getting it near my kid. You're not coming near my kid.
Yeah. Speaking of DeSantis, one more clip about him, because he blew up at a reporter yesterday who dared to tie him to the Jacksonville shooting. When people do this, it's absolutely just, it's so mind-numbingly stupid that people are saying, well, because of the laws in Florida, you are at personal fault for a psychopath murdering people. And he was not about to take it. And so I love it when DeSantis gets angry and just fights back. He's not willing to take this abuse from anybody. And I like that fighting spirit. Here it is.
So first of all, I did not allow anything with that. Well, listen, excuse me. I'm not going to let you accuse me of committing criminal activity. I am not going to take that. I am not going to take that.
Good for him.
So you want to have a civil conversation, that's one thing. Try to say that I'm letting, that guy was Baker acted. He should have been ruled ineligible, but they didn't involuntarily commit him, and so they weren't. No. There is the truth. There is something about the truth. It's not everyone doesn't have their own truth. No. You don't get to come here and blame me for some madman. That is not appropriate, and I'm not going to accept it. Yeah. Oh, that is nonsense. That is such nonsense. We've done more to support law enforcement in this state than anybody throughout the United States. Our crime rate in Florida is at a 50-year low. No.
Anyway, I love that. I love it when he fights
again
back.
with the I'm kind of just listen. You can think what you want about that guy, but just enough with the narrative. Seriously, I wish that he and Trump would just get along. You know, honestly,
it'd make things a lot easier.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that. And I wish that DeSantis people and Trump people would get along. It's all stupid and bullshit, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of it, you guys. Seriously.
Yeah.
Our side, man. It's just
oh my God, it's so messed
dysfunctional
up.
and stupid. Bunch of toddlers.
You are about to see some Gold Star moms being interviewed. A very, very powerful clip that I had to share, especially for the last tiny bit. The rage that you will feel on behalf of these women, just get ready. And they are very, very blunt about their feelings about President Biden and their reaction to him. And this is a must see.
Later, the remains of all 13 service members would arrive at Dover Air Base, greeted by President Biden. But these families say he offered little comfort.
It's coming.
The administration didn't seem to know our story. They didn't seem to know Nicole's name, our names. People from the military certainly knew our story, Nicole's name, our names, and that was expressed to us in a way that felt very genuine and loving. But when it came to the people in suits, it felt disingenuous and hollow.
First, he called me Mrs. Lopez, and I was not Mrs. Lopez. And he just talked about his son and said how much he knows or he understands how do we feel because he lost his kid and he didn't know how we feel because he was there with his son when he passed. We didn't have that privilege. We receive our kids in a casket. I just feel so disrespectful by that man because it was all about him.
We had decided as a family that we would not meet with the president. So we were actually in a room on the side. We had decided because strong opinions, and then out on the tarmac, it made it even worse. The disrespect that we were shown with him checking his watch, not even looking at us. It was just total disrespect.
Someone screamed at President Biden, "Burn in hell."
That was my daughter. Yes. And she meant it.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Can you even?
Yes.
I mean,
who was that?
God,
who was the
chills.
interviewer again? Who was the interviewer?
Martha Raddatz, I think is her
Okay.
name. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, when she was like, that was my daughter, and she meant it. Oh, man. Man, that was so good.
That everybody needs to see that.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Okay, one more clip, and then I've just got one. We're not doing a whack today because I can't share my screen, and then I'm just going to show one talk, and then we're out of here, you guys. It's a weird day, sorry, but it's just been sort of a weird day. I thought everybody would appreciate this little commercial, quote unquote, that Live Action put together, showing a woman going to a CVS pharmacy to request an abortion pill, and she's got questions about that medication. Take a look.
What's in there? Mifepristone and misoprostol.
And these are the abortion pills, right?
Yes.
Actually, I'm having second thoughts. Are these organic?
Oh my God.
Excuse me?
Organic. Like made without preservatives and chemicals and stuff?
Those are abortion pills.
Right. But like, I would never put anything toxic into my body.
Oh my God.
And like so much of what they tell us to put into our bodies is like poison. And I just would never do that to myself. Is there a homeopathic version of these?
You know what those pills do, right?
Yeah, obviously. It's just I want to make sure that they are all natural and don't have any animal products.
I'm not sure.
Because I could never consume anything that would harm an animal.
Uh-huh.
Do you know if there was any slave labor or sweatshops involved in the manufacturing of these?
No idea.
Because I could never consume a product that involved a violation of human rights. Or especially any product manufactured using child labor. I could just never contribute to the harming of a child. It is an atrocity that so many of our everyday products, some of those products right here, even at CVS, contribute to the harming of the weakest and most defenseless human beings.
Okay, so you really need to make sure you understand what those pills actually do. You are pregnant with a child, embryo, fetus, whatever. It's your child. Those pills are going to kill that child and expel that child from your body in a huge amount of blood. You very well may see your dead baby when it comes out of you. Got it?
Do you know if these pills are gluten-free?
I mean, it was well done, right? It was well done.
It's not. It's a good. Somebody asked if that's for real. That's actually it was.
I mean, it's it's a Live Action is a is an organization that is just anti-abortion. They're very active about that,
Right.
and that is just one of their little skit ads that they put together.
It's a pro-life. It's a pro-life skit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's real to the extent that they made it and put it out there.
And who knows? Maybe that actually has happened at a CVS somewhere.
You know what? Of course it has.
It's 2023, you guys.
Yeah.
Have you seen the people we're dealing with? It's probably happened. And not gluten-free.
Just a reminder, My Pillow, please support us by supporting them and getting yourself or your family or your friend, whoever you need to shop for. If you're early Christmas shopping, that's great. Think about going to mypillow.com/chicks and getting yourself maybe a travel pillow. We brought travel pillows.
Did you use them? Yeah.
We got our travel pillows.
They're great
Oh my
on
God.
planes. They're wonderful on planes too, you guys.
Yeah, because they're just like the perfect size.
So great.
But also so super supportive
Squishy.
and
They're the best.
squishy. Yeah,
they're literally
awesome.
My Pillows, but miniature. And anything miniature is better.
Unless it's the fun size candy bars, in which case I object.
Well, I mean, you just eat like 8 of those. And then,
Right.
you feel like it's less calories. I'm just putting that out
Right.
there. Right.
So anyway, mypillow.com/chicks, use code chicks and you're going to get the biggest discounts on all of their great products. I only have one talk for you today because again, I can't share my screen. So it's a little awkward. I have to hold up my phone, but you know how we've shown that that precious dog who has the chompies all the time.
Yes.
Well, there is a duck. Someone has a pet duck that also gets chompies. And I guess this person takes the duck in their car to go through drive-thrus and gets like not a pup cup, obviously, but like a duck cup of water for the pet duck. And of course, the people in the drive-through windows they can't get enough of it. So check out the Chompies specifically at the end. Here we go.
Chance I could just get a cup of ice water with that. Oh my god! Oh my god!
They're so excited. Look at his little
Look at his
tail.
tail.
I can't even. I just can't.
The people at the window.
Wow.
Somebody just came up. Somebody just came up and okay, never mind.
Oh my god! How cute! Thank you. You're welcome. No, thank you. Have a good day, sweetie. You too.
Oh my god.
Chompies.
He's so cute. Is he just like doing the ice?
Yeah, I guess
the
so.
water. He's just adorable.
I know.
Ducks are so sweet. We babysat ducks a couple years ago for my husband's one of his coworkers because she had to go to Italy to see her family or something for like 6 weeks. And so in the summertime, we actually babysat. We had chickens at the time. We thought, how hard can ducks be, right? They're actually kind of high maintenance, you guys. They're a little high maintenance. Yeah, they're very
Why?
Well, I mean, these I don't know, the ducks I don't know, they just are. Like I felt they took more care than
you thought
the
they
chickens
would.
did. Yeah, I feel like they're just a little more, they need more nurturing than the chickens did. And so they were just very they were more girly. Is that a way to put it? I think
you are sexist.
I was. They're messy too. They're a little messy, but they were very sweet. I mean,
that duck looks so precious. Oh my gosh.
Like if you and I were foul, I would probably be a chicken and you'd be a duck.
Yeah, I feel like I would definitely be a duck.
You'd be a duck, one with like the fancy feathers, you know. Yeah, totally.
A couple more thank yous before we check out of here. Paula Johnson. Paula says Biden has been destructive, not productive. That's exactly right. She Picker. Thank you. Remember the HIV/AIDS hysteria of the 80s. Don't drink or eat after anyone, even your own family. Use public toilets, hold hands, etc., etc. It was all Fauci. That's right. That's a great reminder.
Yeah. Oh my God. Fauci totally screwed that up.
Yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Herbal Patriot 2ATX. Thank you. It says, hate to tell you, Daisy Kennedy was talking about all 72 plus vaxes your kids get. None are studied for safety, including cancer. Yeah. I mean, that's why Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been so like, what is going on that now all these kids have allergies, that all of these problems exist that didn't used to exist. Mm-hmm. How is it possible that none of these vaccines have gone through the same kind of safety testing rigor that other drugs go through? It's insane.
It is insane. It is. It is really bizarre because you're right, because all these other drugs go through such just unbelievable testing, years and years of testing, clinical trials and whatnot. It's crazy. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that was your measly talk for today.
Your duck talk. It was your doc. That's what you got. All right. You gonna get up? You gonna
get up?
Get up. It's Friday.
Get up.
Get up. Come on. Get up. Hey.
He's lazy.
Hey. Get up, lazy.
Throw something at him.
I can kick them. You can kick them.
Yeah, now he's coming.
Say hello to everybody.
Oh,
say
look
hello.
at his
Oh,
big
he's so
face.
squishy, so squishy. Are you happy? There it is. There's the flaps. Everything is just discombobulated. He's so weirded out. Oh, we got a double flap, you guys.
Aww.
He wants love. He wants love from mama.
Oh my God.
You guys, I hope Astrid is in the other room. She's in the other room, probably laying on the bed. Everything all the furniture is out of my house, you guys. This is like one of the only rooms that has furniture in it. This is my life this week. And it's probably going to trickle in the next week and I'm homicidal. But I'll go take some Excedrin. I should be okay.
You'll be just fine.
I'll be all right. You guys have a wonderful weekend and we will talk to you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.